understandable. I mean, especially the circumstances played into it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you got to do everything right. And that's a great illustration. Like pretty much everything in that game, we were doing what we could do. And not that every play is a great play, but we didn't give them anything easy and came up with a couple plays, and then really just played some situations really well. But again, that's a good illustration because I mean, it felt like we were climbing a high hill the whole game.
Do you see a steep curve? Do you see as steep of a climb this week as you did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these guys. It's hard to find a weakness. You know? It's easy to find a lot of depth, a lot of impressive guys. That's a credit. I mean, they've recruited well. They should, and they do. They've recruited really well, and they've got players that play really well, and they're well coached. I mean, it's not all talent and ability. They're very well coached, and they play hard. So it's it's going to be a challenge. There's no question about that.
Last year you faced McNamara. Are they much different with McCarthy at quarterback?
I mean, you might argue they're better. I don't know. I mean, they're both really good players. So I know I don't want to call it a dilemma. It's been a discussion point. At least it sounds like up in Ann Arbor, and maybe points beyond that. But from where I'm standing, I would say it's tough to go wrong either way. And maybe that was the situation they're facing. So not sure who we're going to see, but they're both really good football players.
I saw on the floor below us where you've got that huge TV screen. Your game against them last December is on it. Is this a week-long thing? What does that game, how did that game make you, your coaches, your players feel?
Well, I mean, none of us felt very good that day, that's for sure. And I think our challenge at that point back in December was to move forward. We like we do any game, you look at it, study it, learn from it, and move forward. And it's on there. We're not trying to shame anybody or anything like that. That's not the idea at all. We typically rotate 3 or 4 games of our opponents on TV games up on the screens during the week. So and that's that. And as far as that game carrying into this game, I think again the same thing. We're looking forward, not backwards. But the one thing it did do probably for both teams, both staffs, is just give us a little bit more familiarity because we hadn't played them in a while. So obviously we learned about their personnel and their football team last December, just like they did about us. But all that said, now it's a different team. You've got a lot of new faces as well as familiar faces. So kind of is what it is.
Kirk, I know you just said you want to focus on moving forward, but do you get the sense from the players that they're maybe treating this as a revenge game? And if they are, I mean, do you see that as beneficial for them to treat that like that?
It depends on the individual. I mean, those words aren't coming out of my mouth. Again, I'm looking that way. But it is a reminder of what I was talking about earlier. If you aren't on top of things and you give up a couple of big plays, all of a sudden the hill gets pretty steep. And when you're trying to ascend a hill like that against a team that's that talented, it's tough. It's really tough. And then they got you where they want you, and that's. So the first thing you got to do is just keep it close and make sure every play is sound. And if they're going to get something, make them really work and earn it. And we didn't do that necessarily last year. So if somebody has motivation that comes out of that, I think we all want to do better than that. Needless to say, but it's not as simple as like hey, let's go get these guys. I wish it was.